The Reagans is brilliant. I really love this. I only watched it because of John Stamos, and I'm really glad I had a reason to check this out. It was apparently broadcast as a film, as a almost 3 hour film. According to Wikipedia, it was apparently going to be a 2-part miniseries, but ultimately ended up just being broadcast as a film. So it is quite long, but at least we have an explanation there for why it's this length, but it does actually work really well. This was released in 2003. It's directed by Robert Allen Ackerman, written by Jane Marchwood, Tom Rickman, and Elizabeth Egloff, with a cast including James Brolin, Judy Davis, and various others. Of course, we have John Stamos. And the film looks at Ronald and Nancy Reagan from the late 40s up until the end of the 80s. And we have this beautiful start at MGM Studios, and then it progresses through his Hollywood career up until his political career, all the way through until 1989. And I knew some things. I knew certainly some things about Reagan, not so much about Nancy Reagan or their relationship. And I went in with some basic knowledge, keen to learn more. And I did. I learned a lot. I took everything with a pinch of salt, but certainly I had a lot of fun with this, and I had a lot of takeaways from this. I adored the Hollywood years. I did wonder if we'd only spend a little bit of time on the Hollywood years and it would be much more about his political career, but actually that's not the case. We get a really decent chunk of time during the Hollywood years. It really brings the studios to life. The set designs are amazing, the decor, the costumes, it all just looks absolutely fantastic, and it made me really keen to go and watch some of Ronald Reagan's films, because I don't know how many I've seen. According to Letterboxd, I've seen 5, and there are 72 that I haven't seen. So it made me keen to check out more of his films, and the Hollywood years in this are just brought to life in such a fabulous, fabulous way. And the political aspect, as we get into that, that's still really interesting. That's the bit where I definitely had less prior knowledge going into it, and I found that to be really interesting. The passage of time works really well. We're kept up to date, so it's easy enough to follow the timeline and to figure out how much time has passed as well, which, when you're coming from my perspective, with again some basic knowledge but not a clear picture, not a clear overview of how things progressed, that is really, really beneficial. And every aspect of this was really well executed, really great pacing, a lot of emotion, great character writing. Again, not an expert on Reagan, but I certainly found the character here to be very believable. If anybody has any thoughts on that, please do let me know. But we have some really great performances. Visually, it is a very strong film with brilliant set designs and costumes and great camera work and lighting. Really great music, often adding to some more moving moments, making them just a little bit more impactful. There are some powerful emotional moments in this, for sure, and it is a really solid experience, and I actually don't mind the length of time, but I will admit bias there, because I love films about Hollywood, and as I said, there is quite a chunk of this dedicated to those years, so that really, really appealed to me. Would I have been less satisfied if the bulk of this had been about his political career? The quality would still have been there. I don't know if I would have liked the fact it would be almost 3 hours, but at the same time, I wouldn't be able to fault it. I think the quality would still be there. It would still work really well, but what we have is really brilliant, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Really glad I had a reason to watch it. Definitely going to make more of an effort to watch some of Reagan's films. If you can recommend any, please feel free to do so. And for now, I'm certainly very happy to recommend the 2003 rather lengthy film, The Reagans.